This book is for writers, for storytellers who have had a novel published, maybe several. For authors who believe they have wrestled with and mastered the essentials of the craft of fiction, but who can't break into hardcover. For authors whose books have been praised, awarded prizes, yet who can't earn a living from their work. And for authors who receive advances and royalties that are a fraction of what they feel they deserve. It will also benefit beginners and veteran writers who have yet to publish a novel. But if you belong in these groups, remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. For a beginner, trying to write a blockbuster novel might be likened to a high school athlete trying to play with the Dallas Cowboys, or a first-year piano student trying to perform Beethoven's Emperor Concerto with the New York Philharmonic. These things sometimes happen, but chances are you'll stand a better chance getting your first novel published if it's a work less ambitious in scope and scale, say a category romance or mystery. This book is by no means intended for all published novelists. It will offer no help to authors who mean to forge new paths in literature, to dazzle serious readers with a contemporary equivalent of Proust, Joyce, Kafka, or even Faulkner, or who aim to replicate the success of such recent literary bestsellers as The White Hotel, The Name of the Rose, or Possession. Rather, it will dissect and hopefully illuminate what in today's book publishing industry is generally called the commercial bestseller. The creation of any novel that succeeds in stirring the hearts of millions of readers around the world must involve an element of indescribable magic, akin in a way to the human soul. The miracle of divine or evolutionary engineering has resulted in a human body with myriad organs, glands, bones, veins, and tissues that can be X-rayed, sonogrammed, microscopically examined. Science can determine the qualities that set apart the ill from the healthy, the weak from the strong. With popular fiction, too, it is possible to peel away the surfaces of individual words and show how a blockbuster novel, like a watch, is built with a multitude of interlocking parts, all of which are needed precisely to move each other. In the best-loved novels, these parts are designed in ways that are on one hand unique, but on the other appear to follow certain rules. If you aspire to seeing your name on the bestseller lists, you probably are familiar with the names of the authors who often appear there. Albert Zuckerman is not one of these. You may ask, who is this guy? What are his qualifications? What gives him the authority to assert knowledge that many top publishing professionals, writers, editors, agents, freely admit eludes them? The answer is that I have been midwife to more than a dozen megabooks, New York Times bestsellers, Literary Guild and Book of the Month Club main selections, choices of Reader's Digest condensed books, novels made into motion pictures and TV miniseries. I've worked with their authors from their story's initial conception through constructing and reconstructing plot outlines, developing characters and intensifying their relationships, to rebuilding scenes and chapters in first-draft manuscripts, and finally enriching, rewriting, and polishing second and final drafts before delivery to their publishers. Ken Follett has been generous enough to call me the best editor in the world. A great compliment, but I may not be. What is clear, though, is that my working with him has in some measure helped bring about the sale of more than 35 million copies of his books. Particularly exciting to me has been working with an unpublished author and then rocketing him into the publishing industry's stratosphere. My first such thrill came with Anne Tolstoy Wallach, whose women's work in 1982 garnered a then-record advance for a first novel, $850,000. My talented wife, Eileen Googe, after producing a bunch of young adult romances, set out in 1986 to write a mainstream women's novel on which I worked at her side.